you. Well, our next guest is Mayor Levar Stoney of Richmond, Virginia. He is also the president of the Democratic Mayors Association. Central to his vision for the future of his city is the Richmond Equity Agenda, a plan that aims to lay the groundwork for advancing justice and inclusivity. Welcome, Mayor Levar Stoney. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, for those who may not be familiar, first off, would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you came to be the youngest mayor elected to your city?
Well, yeah, to say that I'm the youngest mayor, it doesn't feel like that now. This is my 6th year in office, but prior to being the mayor, I was Secretary of the Commonwealth. I had a long career in Democratic politics, helping to get people elected. I was the first in my family to graduate from college. First in my family to graduate from high school as well. And so the issues of justice and opportunity have been very important to me, not just in my role as mayor, but in my previous parts of my career as well. So I get a great opportunity to help people. That's why I love being mayor.
Awesome. And we know one of your main focuses as mayor has been equity, and we know you have launched the One Richmond initiative. Can you kind of tell us about this initiative and some of the goals you are trying to accomplish there in your city? We already know you've already done so much in your tenure, but I guess what are some of the key agenda items for yourself at this moment?
Yeah, so when we all experienced the racial reckoning that occurred in the summer of 2020, and Richmond has a long history of injustices, and sometimes it's very difficult to talk about that. But Richmond is a home for history, and it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we thought that we would take the bad and the ugly head on. And so not only did we engage in removing the Confederate iconography all across the city starting July 1 of 2020, we thought we had to put some action behind some of the symbolism as well. So we created what we call the city's equity agenda. This is essentially an opportunity agenda that creates a working definition of equity that for us, which means empowering communities that have experienced past injustices and also removing barriers so that everyone in our city has access to opportunity and has access to success. And we apologize for the harms that my past predecessors may have caused. And these are a number of different injuries to marginalized communities like redlining, annexation, the erection of those Confederate monuments. And we put some great policy initiatives into this agenda that I think that we use as a framework in our budgeting and everything that we do. It's truly a roadmap. So whether it's economic justice, whether it's social justice, climate justice, criminal justice, all covered under our equity agenda, like I said, an opportunity framework.
Now, obviously, Richmond has its own unique, rich history when it comes to racial issues in particular, but nothing too far away from what we see across the country. And we know now that you are the president of the Democratic Mayors Association. And how do you think you can take what you've learned and what you've implemented in the city of Richmond and maybe mirror that in the agenda for all mayors?
Well, in my acceptance speech for the Democratic Mayors Association, becoming the president, I talked about how Democrats, but just elected leaders, period, have to get back to basics, the essentials for an individual to thrive. And I think that mayors specifically have an opportunity to play a role in the opportunity business, right? We can remove barriers for individuals so they can rise, and that creates economic mobility. And I think that more and more of those who are in elected office have to do that. And so I think about what we're doing with guaranteed income, for instance. We have the Richmond Resilience Initiative. We are finding individuals who are already fully employed, gainfully employed, but living paycheck to paycheck and are in danger of falling off the cliff. And so what we've done is we're providing $500 contributions to their income each and every month so they can ensure that they don't fall off the cliff, but also it gives them an opportunity to start saving for home ownership, start to not having to have 2 jobs as well. These are the sort of opportunities that I think that every elected official has to get involved with right now, because we know there are a number of people who are still suffering because of the pandemic and the economic downturn, and we got to get back to basics and helping them.
Right. And it looks like we do have a audience question from Margaret Pridgeon. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. We'll go ahead and have a listen.
My name is Marguerite Pridgeon. I'm Director of Federal Policy for the Corporation for Supportive Housing. My question is, what is your assessment of how the current Congress and administration have addressed these issues so far?
I'm grateful for the current administration's work on with American Rescue Plan and those programs that allow for us to emerge out of this pandemic. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask for the administration to go even further. I think that the president's Build Back Better plan is a solution for a lot of the ills that urban centers like mine experience on a daily basis, and never have enough funds to actually tackle these issues head on. And so I appreciate the infrastructure dollars that are coming out of the federal government, but I think that Build Back Better, whether it's passed in separate bills or if it's one huge package, will allow for urban centers, mayors across the country to attack these social ills that have haunted us for generations.
All right, Mayor Stoney, well, thank you so much for taking out the time and sharing your insights. Looking forward to seeing what more you do with the Democratic Mayors Association.
Thank you so much.
That was great. I should also mention Mayor Levar Stoney recently had a great op-ed in The Hill, so go check that out.